What's going on, guys? Keith Lamberth here with the KFL Week 6 post game and slash Week 7 preview with Jake Angeles. We've got a big match coming up this week with the Granite State Sticks. They're coming off a big win with the Rhode Island Rebels, and you guys are now looking forward to the Massachusetts Maulers match. Now, Jake, let's talk a little bit about the match this last weekend. In division rival. You guys are 4-0 going in, looking to make it 5-0. You had another big day, buddy. Does Jake miss?
Ah, I will eventually, but as of right now, we're on a good streak and we want to keep it going. It was a great match, and my bite kind of changed. I had to adapt throughout the match, and then I figured out what they wanted, and I just ran with that the rest of the day. The afternoon bite was decent, wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. The fish were super picky. We had a storm blow through that morning. Air temp dropped pretty heavy. So those fish were kind of in a mood, but we found them, rotated through some new spots, and we got on them. So it was a good event. Yeah.
Well, like I say, this past weekend you had you and the Granite State Sticks. I say you, but your team 4-0. You guys were tied record wise with the Motor City Ambassadors. They come off a tough loss to the Indianapolis Knights. You guys win. That puts you guys at 5-0 and in first place in the conference, obviously leading your division. What does that 5-0 mark mean with just 3 matches left in the season?
We're ready to go for our next games. I mean, it's huge that we're 5-0, but the work's not done. We're ready to put the work in for the next 3 events, and these next 3 events aren't going to be easy. We got Maine, the Maulers, so they're going to be hard games coming up, and we need to lock down, focus down, and get through these next couple games with at least a couple wins. They'll be looking really good going into the playoffs.
I mean, you guys pretty much have sealed yourself a playoff spot, but you want to maintain that record. You want to maintain the hot streak. Listen, you're not going to be on fish every day, okay?
Yep.
Every match so far this year, you've been on good fish. Steve O'Brien's been on good fish. The team has been able to put together some numbers, but you're going to have a time where the bite isn't there. The weather doesn't cooperate. There's so many different things that can go into affect the outcome of a match. Uh, what do you guys do team wise, individually wise? How do you just suck it up, break it down, and just keep moving forward, knowing that you're going to have a tough day coming up?
Yeah. You just got to rely on your teammates to maybe pull your slack that you're dropping and hope that your team can come through, help each other out, explore as much water as possible as a team. We break down into groups normally to break down the water faster, and then we come back together and we talk every time. What are you catching them on? Where are you catching them? And that's how we break down our water the fastest. It seems to be really efficient.
Yeah, breaking up like that, 2 and 2, or maybe even taking a pre-fishing day where you're covering 4 different quadrants, or even having an extra
Yeah.
angler out on the water certainly helps. Um, this is the team aspect. Obviously, the Granite State Sticks having a great year, but let's talk a little bit individually about Jake. The season you're having, buddy. I mean, you are absolutely. Again, I say, you can't miss. I mean, there's people in the fantasy game for the KFL talking about as long as Jake Angeles is in a lineup, he's in my lineup, heavily owned in the fantasy world. Let's talk about some individual accomplishments. I mean, you're obviously well in the running for the KFL MVP. What would that accolade mean to Jake? Now let's set aside the team aspect. What would that mean to you individually, and what do you see yourself doing with the kayak competitions as an angler in the future?
I mean, definitely, I've had a good last couple of years. Definitely starting to figure out what I'm doing, and I've definitely struggled. Like 3 years ago, I struggled when I really got into it, but now we're seeing more success, and it mean a lot. I mean, it a ton. I mean, tons of companies. Working with a lot of companies now, and that's helped out a lot. But it's just building my name, and I want to keep going. And the KBF stuff, the EKF stuff, it's all been a blast this year. And it just opened up maybe some of those farther away events and fishing more water and new water. And that'd be a ton of fun. So that's what it means. I just want to keep learning and keep going. I'm not slowing down anytime soon.
I myself have had a very tough year, Jake. I mean, I've been getting my ass kicked in competitions, tournaments, these KFL matches. I haven't really put together a quality day this year. Day two for the Hobie for on Lake Eufaula was really my only bag I've put together in a single day. So I understand the setbacks and the disappointments. Let me ask you, how do you deal with the setbacks? Because again, I asked you about the team aspect. You know, there's going to be a day where you're not putting up 154 inches. Maybe you only put up a couple fish, or maybe there's a couple days where you go and you get skunked. How do you handle the setbacks, and how do you handle the speed bumps that come your way? Because as fishing is a very humbling sport. You're going to go out there and in your case, you're going to be on fire for 5 6 months, maybe a year, but you're going to have, we all have them, and you're going to go on another spell where the bite is tough and maybe you're not fishing clean. How do you handle that emotionally for yourself? And how you handle it affect the team?
Yeah, so I just had a pretty bad event, the EKF event on the Connecticut River. I only put 2 fish in, and which was really disappointing. I was on them during pre-fishing, but my bite just completely died. So one of the things I do is I like to just go to one of my local honey holes after, go smash on some fish that next day or two, and it really locks me back in and calms me down to remember that I still can catch fish at my local stuff, and then fine tune some stuff, and then just get that confidence back up. And that's everything. Catching fish, it makes you a more confident angler, even if it's at a spot that you've fished hundreds of times. So that's kind of what I do, is just reset and then refocus on that next game and put more work in, maybe expand, maybe find 2 or 3 different bites instead of trying to rely on one bite. And that's kind of what I do.
Now, we all appreciate the opportunity to catch these 17, 18, 20, 21-inch fish, but let's say Jake's out on the water and it's just dink, 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 12 inch, 12 inch, 12 inch, 14. Do you take the same opportunity to appreciate those catches as you do the big ones? Because you know it as well as I do. You see on social media people's stuff, and all you see them posting is, these large, lunkers, the donkeys. How much time and appreciation do you put into the dinks and each catch, each time you get a fish in the yak? How do you take the time to appreciate that and separate it from the big catches?
I mean, every catch is important. I see a lot of people, they'll throw back those 14 inches and be like, man, that's not going to help me in this event. I'll still throw it up on the board. Every fish counts, because that next cast could be that you might go on a mega streak and catch 321s. And that 14 that you threw away that was going to be your 5th fish could really hurt you. So you got to appreciate the small fish. And you never know how tough the bite is going to be. One fish, 1/4 inch can be the difference between winning and losing. So every fish matters.
Absolutely. All right. Last question for you, Jake. Please tell me and KFL, your opponents, and anybody that's going to be watching, any fans, family, friends, what does kayak angling do for Jake? Not what does it mean? What does it do for Jake?
It just calms me down. It Everything gets pushed aside when you're out there. You're focused on just fishing. So I mean, it's just you're in a different world out there when you're fishing, and that's really what it means. You escape.
Absolutely.
It's just an escape. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it completes my day. It's not
Oh,
something I have to have. It's something I need.
yeah.
It makes me, it puts me at peace with, my whatever's going on in life.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, buddy, I appreciate you taking the time. Listen, the Granite State Sticks again, guys, 5-0 in the Northern Conference, 5-0 within the division, first place all to themselves. Big match against the 2021 defending KFL Cup champions, the Massachusetts Maulers, who isn't having as great a season. Do we overlook this match, or do we move forward being strong? Jake, I wish you guys the best of luck and all the safety out on the water. And we look forward to talking to yourself and some of the Granite State Sticks again real soon.
Thank you. Thank you for taking
Thank
your time out for doing this. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Appreciate the time with you, and we'll talk at you again real soon, bud.